Yeah. Oh God, what's going on, guys? Hey guys, Heretic you here, and today, just showing off my latest completed commission. Well, about 90% complete. First of all, sorry for the sound of my voice. I am just getting over some sickness. So I'm gonna just hack my way through this video. I know it's kind of been a little while since we had one of these like sit down and chats and rambles about stuff. So anyways, this is the Dwarf Blood Bowl team from GW. Just right off the bat, I just want to get this off this chest. I'm not too crazy about these sculpts. Actually, I can't really put my finger on why I don't like it. I'm gonna try and articulate that, but I don't know. Just for some reason, they don't really do it for me. I think it's if you look online, it's kind of a split decision. People either really love these sculpts or they really detest them. I think they're okay, but kind of on the disappointing end. Yeah, and the thing is, just give you a quick history lesson about me. Before I got into tabletop gaming, I was actually a avid Dungeons and Dragons player, and the way I discovered this hobby was I was looking for a model to represent my dwarf character, and back then there were only a few miniature manufacturers. One of them that really impressed me, the way they sculpted the dwarves, was a company called Citadel, which you guys probably know better as Games Workshop. So to me, Games Workshop, it was one of their big staples, is the fact that they were by far, when it came to sculpting dwarves at least, they were my favorite sort of company to do that. And when I look at these, I think it's, I don't know how to explain it, but I think it basically comes down to the style of the armor. So let's take a look at, I think what they wanted to do is base it off the artwork of the Death Zone book. As you can see here, they have that same sort of helmet. The main difference between the artwork and, say, the actual miniatures is, if you look on the artwork, there's a lot of, kind of detail on the armor, where here it's a lot of flat paneling. Almost looks semi sci-fi to me. So it's kind of out of place, I guess. But in a way, it sort of makes sense, where Games Workshop is trying to distinguish themselves. It's kind of what they're doing with Age of Sigmar, right? They want to create their own sort of unique style, and so it's either going to, you're either going to like it or hate it, but it's definitely not fantasy like. Okay. Anyways, let's go over what you get in the box. So you get 6 dwarf blockers. There are 3 sculpts for them each. So here's one of them right there. And this guy. He's kind of dabbing, right? He's a dwarf dab. And it's this guy here. Let me back up a little bit. The blockers are okay. They're supposed to be armor 9 though, so there's a little inconsistency in that. let me give you an example. So I brought one of my Skaven that I painted up. He's going to be part of my Underworld team, which I'll probably do a separate video of. That's my cat. I don't know what he's meowing at right now, but he is. So this guy's, he's armor 8. All right, now take a look at that armor 8 versus this armor 9. There's a little discrepancy there. You can still, like, you can see that this guy should be covered in armored plates, You shouldn't see any of the exposed, like on his leg, you can see that there should be armor plating there, Very tough. Okay, but moving on. What the hell am I talking about? All right. You get 2 blitzers. Now here's the cool thing about this box set, which they didn't do for the other boxes, is you can actually, on the blitzers, you can choose different heads. This is my personal favorite model of the entire box set. That Dwarf blitzer there. Or you can go helmeted Dwarf blitzer. Pretty cool. And for the gems, what I decided to do, because it's kind of hard to tell the difference between a, one of the blockers and the blitzer. So each of the different positions, the gems are different colored. So these are kind of a turquoise, and then camera's kind of weird right now, but it's picking up this they have a light blue gem for the blitzers, and then we have, where's the runner scope? I think this guy is the runner. So he went with green. I went with green gems on him. Move, thumb. All right, so. And then you can actually get 2 different Slayer heads. So you get this guy here, and put with helmet on. Different beard too. This sculpt is the one that has caused the most controversy of, because it kind of looks like he's tripping over his beard there. I don't know. It's not as bad as I thought it was from the box art. Kind of threw me off. Like, I thought that was going to be the worst sculpt ever, but they're not bad. They're really not that bad. And it is, like I said, nice that you can at least have different heads. One of the fun things is painting up these dwarf markers here. I had a fun time doing that. That one still needs work. So you're supposed to look at this one. Yeah, this one needs just a little bit of cleanup and it's ready to go. But I really like that. And then, all the teams come with these custom markers. These Blood Bowl markers. So the dwarf one's really nice. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And then they come with balls, of course. You get 6 of these. A lot of these are, I'm just, obviously needs work, but I got like 6 of these to do, and I could easily do them tonight. So anyways, that's the dwarf team. As usual, I'd like to do a little bit of a breakdown of the team. I think this box set, out of all the box sets, is pretty good as far as the in-game quality. The one thing I would say is you probably don't want to go with this full 12-man team. If you do, you're only going to have enough for 1 reroll. And so if you're new to Blood Bowl, that's pretty rough. What I suggest you do is probably I would ditch Blitzer. You can play with 11 guys on this team. The reason is they're freaking armor 9, and they got thick skull. So injuries are not going to happen unless some guy is playing with loaded dice or like there's just a freak accident. You're going to be able to go toe to toe with most people on this team. In fact, as a person who likes to play kind of more agile teams or stunty teams, this is the scariest team that I could run up against. Dwarves, because their linemen, armor 9, thick skull, block, and tackle. Jesus fucking Christ. That's on your basic dude. So if you're an Amazon or a goblin or a halfling or even Skaven, these guys are your worst nightmare. They just take that dodge away from you with the tackle, and you combine that with block, and I wouldn't be scared to throw uphill, 2 uphill dice rolls with these guys, because they're probably going to survive that. So I'd probably take out a blitzer, or maybe go with 1 troll slayer. But the idea of 2 troll slayers, who's mainly you're using these guys for frenzy, knocking guys out of the pitch. That's basically what you want to do with them. Blitzers are kind of redundant on this team. So for me, I'd rather get rid of a blitzer. He costs 10k more than your lineman, and you can get an extra reroll. Trade him in for a reroll. I think that's a pretty good use of this box set. And this is the one time I would say, I kind of like the idea of having 2 runners on this team. Mainly because even though your linemen are great and arguably, in my humble opinion, they are one of the best linemen in the game, especially starting out with the group of skills like that. Their one weakness is that they're terrible ball handlers. You don't want to really be trusting them to pick up the ball or even catch. So this is where your runners come in play. So you basically can hand off between the 2 runners. Coming with the sure hands helps them out. They don't have tackle, but hey, they're movement 6, which is like lightning fast on this team, and so they give you that flexibility. So I do like the idea of running with 2 runners, and I would not be opposed to 2 troll slayers. The one thing I think is a little overrated on the troll slayers is the dauntless. To me, combining that with frenzy, you can get into some serious trouble. So some advice to new players is, if you're planning on using the dauntless, just remember with dauntless you got to roll on both blocks. So assuming that you're blocking like a troll or something, you're going to need 5 or 6 on a die roll. So you should plan, the way you should set up Dauntless, I'm freaking rambling off the top of my head now. The way you should set up Dauntless is that basically plan on failing it. So have a bunch of assists there so that even if you fail the Dauntless, you'll still be okay, because one of the dangerous things about Frenzy is if you get the push, you're going to have to follow up and block again, which means if you're using Dauntless at the same time, you're going to have to roll that Dauntless check again, which can get you into trouble. So just some friendly advice for that. Otherwise, I would say the other thing to worry about on this team is, fast teams can put you out of position, and so This is a team where you you want to control the tempo of the game, and the easiest way to do that is by, if you're playing like an edge team, like skate. Where'd my freaking blitzer go? There we go. We're going pretty long on this video, right? But yeah, let's say you got a blitzer here, and you've already wasted your blitz. What you want to do is you want to have guys marking these edge teams. Basically, if there's a guy open on the other side of the team, you're kind of playing into what they want to do. So the easiest way to control tempo is just to force them into tackle zones, force them to try to block their way out, or force them to dodge, which are more than with the tackle becomes a game in your favor. Anyways, that's enough rambling for now, and I'm sick or whatever. So, yeah, there's your Blood Bowl team, and enjoy, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, bye.